We back. Let's get to this video, y'all. The Wilmington insurrection of 1898. Insurrection. The original insurrection of 1898. Chester Douglas. I guess that's who wrote the book. Chester Douglas. The insurrection. The origins of the insurrection. When they ran down on the White House and overthrew the government. Well, tried to anyway. But who's to say who set that up, ladies and gentlemen? If the Democrats was into that in 1898, who's to say they ain't framed the person that was in president that they didn't like at that point? Who's to say that wasn't Antifa and BLM dressed in Trump uniforms causing havoc the same way during the George Floyd protests and march? They was robbing, looting, burning down buildings, disrespecting the police officers, throwing fire bombs and rocks at the officers. That same energy was the same energy that was used in January the 6th, ladies and gentlemen. I keep telling y'all, y'all been bamboozled, y'all. Y'all don't want to admit it, but y'all been bamboozled, man. Y'all been bamboozled. Listening to the press and listening to the fake news and fake newspapers. Already talked about that. Hold on. That's right here. I'm glad I said that. About how they used to use
Black Republicans to the U.S.
Let's get
Congress
into it,
between
man.
1875 and 1899. The Democratic and Republican parties of 1898 in many ways occupied opposite parts of the political spectrum than they do today.
Most African Americans were voting for the Republican Party, and the Democratic Party was white voters almost exclusively. White supremacy was the central focus of the platform for the Democratic Party.
Republicans in North Carolina were successful in part because of a third party called the Populist Party, made up of mostly white farmers fed up with the tough economic times. North Carolina populists joined up with Republicans to form what they called the Fusion Party. And in the elections of 1894 and 1896, the Fusion Party defeated the Democrats in sweeping victories statewide. That meant North Carolina now had a government that shared power between black and white politicians, including a newly elected Republican governor. Together, they moved towards reforms that would favor black Americans and working class whites.
This was something that the Democratic Party folks were simply not going to accept.
A multiracial government wasn't just a disappointment for Democrats. It was more like a humiliation. They needed...
Big Bubba said, nigga. Nigga. They are positions, nigga. And all you niggas gonna get your asses back in line. And the nigga said, but we were duly elected into these positions. Uncle Bubba said, nigga, you wanna get lynched? You better drop everything in your hand, and you got 5 seconds to get out of here, nigga. 1, 2, and he was counting fast as a motherfucker. Them niggas hauled ass out of the goddamn government. And that's a fact.
A humiliation. They needed a plan to take back control of the state in the next election. So party leaders like Furnifold Simmons, future U.S. Senator, Charles Aycock, future North Carolina Governor, and this man, Alfred Moore Waddell, came up with one: to beat the Fusion Party by luring white populist voters away from their alliance with black voters. Wilmington, with a large black population and a local fusion government in power, would be a focus of their campaign. The state Democratic Party handbook for 1898 laid out their goal: consolidate the white vote by stoking white anger and resentment. It said, this is a white man's country, and white men must control and govern it.
So is that what's going on now? Is that what's implanted in most of these men's head? That this is a white man's world and it should be ran by white men? Let's get to that. Is that a racist term or a racist slur? This been going on since 1898, y'all. Way before that too, y'all.
Active tool was the media. One of North Carolina's biggest newspapers was a Democratic Party
See that?
mouthpiece. It ran racist political
See that?
cartoons throughout 1898.
See, the newspaper in 1898 was sliding them racist terms and slurs and jokes off the press about black folks, right? They used the press. Like today, they use the news to talk about what they want y'all to hear. You notice during that election time, they wasn't talking about the other side of the party. They was focusing on one party, and that was the Democratic Party.
I was literate.
And that's a fact.
But to see a political cartoon of the type that ran, you may not be able to read it, but you know exactly what it means.
Many of the cartoons were centered on the threat of Negro rule, even though the fusion government was mostly white. They also played up another fear.
Black men threatening white women became a theme. White men need to do all that they can to protect white womanhood.
This was
Meaning,
all part of North
by lynching, castrating, and dividing the families up. Who should we hold accountable for those actions, ladies and gentlemen? I know, y'all don't want, that's tough talk, but hey, it's true.
Carolina Democratic strategy, but it echoed the national racist rhetoric of the time. In one speech that Democrats printed in a Wilmington paper, a prominent Georgia writer named Rebecca Felton said,
If it takes lynching a black man a day to protect white womanhood, I say lynch.
her speech
And that's been going on since 1898, ladies and gentlemen, and it's still going on to this day. Still going on to this day, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. What else we got over here, y'all? What's this here, y'all?
One for people like you and me, and one for the corrupt political class, of which there are many. At the very same moment when my ultra-secure Mar-a-Lago home was raided by the FBI, Joe Biden was harboring...
How about that? They raided down. Now, look, they playing these raid games, y'all. I'm going to raid your house, and then I'm going to send my boys to raid your house. What type of leadership are y'all showing? Attack for tack? See, that's why we got to abolish the Republicans and the Democrat Party. And we got to start over, y'all. We got to build from scratch. Because these two parties are known to be racist. Both of them. And I don't give a damn who don't like it. Every time it's time to vote, do your vote really count? I explained to that before in another video. 275 votes. One man can veto it. One person. It was 275 people that say, yeah, hell yeah. And it was one man that vetoed it and said, nuh-uh. Not today, sir. Or ma'am. So the question is, do your vote really count? Or are you just going out there wasting your time? Because every 4 years, if you're not in a worser predicament that you was in 4 years ago, your black ass is in a worser predicament now. You see all the programs they cut when the Democrats took over? Yeah, we're going to talk that shit, y'all. Because we can talk about it because we saying the shit. Everything Joe Biden told y'all, he lied to y'all. And y'all not holding him accountable or his administration. All these programs got cut. They let all these foreigners and migrants and funding wars that they can't win But yet the American people suffer behind this administration. This administration want to keep you down, ladies and gentlemen. When are y'all going to wake up? When are y'all going to wake up and realize, what did the video say? That this is a white man's world that we live in. Right? That's what they said. It's a white man's world. So why are y'all going with the white man that said lock niggas up and throw away the key? And don't bust them niggas to no motherfucking schools back then. It was busing, right? So these kids had to bus way across the other side of town because the schools in their areas didn't accept them because of their skin color, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to that. Let's get to Rosa Parks wasn't going for it. They locked her up for not going to the back of the bus. But my question is this, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the question. This administration y'all voted for, are you doing more prosper things than you did before this administration came in? Or are you doing worse? And then they here to trying to cut Social Security and Medicare and the veterans. What are they doing to this country, ladies and gentlemen? The people you voted for, that work for you, the people. This shit is a whole big Barnabas and Bailey circus act that's going on in your face. And you're a part of it because you're allowing it to happen. And every 4 years, you keep voting for the same motherfucker that keep putting you in the same goddamn position and predicament, if not worser. When are you going to wake up, peoples? Like y'all say, that was in the past. Okay, that was in the past. The Democrats and the Republicans was in the past. Let's do something new. Y'all tried the independent shit. That didn't work. The Democrats and the Republicans was in the past. Okay? When I talk the past shit, you say get over it. That was in the past. Well, okay. The Democrat Party and the Republican Party was in the past. How are they still here in the future? Stealing right up under your face. Under your nose. I can at least say this with the last administration that was in there. It was good things happening. Gas prices was at its all-time low. Food at the market was low. Interest rates was low. It was jobs being created. This administration that just took over, this just didn't take over, but been in office, it haven't even been 4 years. And they already set you back 50 years. It only took them 3 years to set your ass back 50 years. With this new Green Deal bullshit and these electric vehicles. You see the price of one of these electric vehicles, ladies and gentlemen? I seen Hyundai came out with, I think, an electric vehicle. Starting at like $700 just for the vehicle, y'all. $700, y'all. They ain't even including the shit you got to charge the car up with. You got to find these charging stations to charge your car up. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. In the cold, electric, in the cold, that shit can shut down on you. In the summertime when it's hot, that car can catch fire on you, ladies and gentlemen. You got it charged in your garage. You charging it in your garage. Your whole fucking house can go up in flames, ladies and gentlemen. You see what's going on with these e-bikes now? The batteries on the e-bikes blowing up, catching fire. So imagine a car and an SUV, ladies and gentlemen. You know how much wattage that's pulling? Is the infrastructure of the electric grids ready to handle that? Are the roads ready to handle this? It was an agenda that this administration came in with to steal money right up underneath your face, right? The goddamn budget is at what? What they say, $68 trillion? $68 trillion. Somebody doing some serious stealing, y'all. And ain't nobody talking about it. The rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. They just yapped your food stamps, your pandemic extra food stamps that you get. That's gone. That's out the door. You get your regular food stamps and then you get another little something towards the end of the month. That program ends in February, next month. That program ends. Pandemic relief funds. There's no more pandemic relief money. There's no more child care breaks. All that shit is gone, y'all. Just like that. And if y'all ain't waking up to see what the fuck is going on, y'all deserve every motherfucking thing y'all getting. And that's a fact. That's a 100% fact. You love to be a slave. And slavery don't mean just in shackles coming off a ship out the bottom of the deck. A slave can mean a slave to the system that you're in. You're a slave to your light bill. You're a slave to your car note. You're a slave to your insurance. You're a slave to your cell phone bill. Must I keep going? You are a slave. You're a slave to your rent. You're a slave to your taxes. You're a slave to everything that you do every day. You are a slave to it. And that's a fact. So when are you going to wake up, ladies and gentlemen, and say, you know what? I know I might not like the man, but his policies or her policies is going to benefit us in the long run. It's going to benefit the American people, not benefit foreign countries and migrants that's crossing the border now. Gang members that they're releasing from prison, they're letting them in the United States, y'all. And that's a fact. Stone cold to the bone killers. They letting them out of Mexican jails and crossing them across the border to the U.S. You see how those three guys in Philadelphia took over that gas station employee? He came right in there and no ifs, ands, or worries about it. He shot that man, what, 5-6 times? Because it looked like it was a revolver. See, little niggas around here that tote that heat, that tote that tool, they like automatics. That gun that was used in that motherfucking incident, y'all, that was an old rusty ass 38 or a 32. People in America, these young G's or whatever you want to call them, are packing automatics. Them three bums, them three fucking losers that went up in that store and executed that man was from the border, y'all. They was Mexican motherfuckers that just crossed the border a couple days ago. That's running around here like fucking cowboys, not giving a fuck. They shooting first and then rob you. You can have $3-4 on you. They're gonna execute you and take that $3-4. Because to them, that $3-4 is like $100 to them. They fucked up, y'all. They some bums, y'all, that this administration let cross the border with all types of diseases, right? All type of fentanyl coming out of nowhere now. What about our babies? They got fentanyl candy now, y'all, that look like fucking Fruity Pebbles. Valentine's Day coming up, y'all. And y'all not holding this administration accountable for letting these motherfucking bums in our country? This is our country, y'all. Let's get to that. All right? Whoever's with me is with me. Because this is our country. All right? And I don't mean no racist shit. I mean for those, our veterans that fought for this country, that died. Some of them died, y'all. Our veterans fucking died, y'all. That fought in this fucking war for this country. They rolling over in their fucking graves right now. If they would have known how this outcome would have came after we put our life on the line to fight for this country, and this is what the fuck we get? A bunch of bums crossing our border, bringing drugs into our fucking state, country. They bringing drugs in the country. They smuggling kids. They smuggling weapons. They smuggling all types of shit into this country, y'all. It haven't even been 4 years yet, y'all. And when it's all said and done with, we're going to see another 9/11, because I ain't even get to them motherfuckers from Afghanistan yet. Whereas though their presidents was killed, their leaders was killed. You think Bin Laden, soldiers forgot about what the fuck happened to Bin Laden? That's if Bin Laden was ever caught. Because they said they caught the man and threw him in the sea. Why didn't y'all bring him back to show the American people his body? You can't say, that's like me saying, yeah, I got him. It's a $50,000 hit out on him. I got him, but I threw his motherfucking body in the ocean. Let me get paid. You're gonna say, look at me and say, nigga, if you don't get the fuck out my face, nigga, where the body at? Where the motherfucking dental? We gotta make sure that this is that dude that y'all talking about, because we can't believe nothing y'all say. Everything y'all say out y'all mouth is a fucking lie. How about that? Let's get to that. Y'all known to lie to the American people. This is our fucking country. And we want it the fuck back. And by us getting our country back, this administration have to leave, y'all. Even if we overthrow these motherfuckers, y'all. I don't give a fuck if you white. I don't give a fuck if you green. I don't give a fuck if you orange. If you're a citizen of America and you was born and raised in America, let's overthrow this government, y'all. Let's overthrow this administration, y'all. We can get them out of there, y'all. We got the power to do it, y'all. Just like that one president or that one governor got the power to veto 275 votes. We, the people, got the power to overthrow this administration. What we waiting for, y'all? What we waiting for? It must be done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It must be done. And then you wonder why so many other countries hate America. Iran. You think them peoples forgot about, what's his name? Saddam, whatever his name was, that got killed. You think his peoples forgot about that? They was burning American flags, y'all, in these foreign countries. But yet this administration opened up the borders for these other countries to invade our privacy. That's what I call it. This administration let these migrants in our country to invade our privacy. And I know it's a lot of my white brothers out there. You hear me? I ain't biased. I'm only biased to those who's biased to me. But a lot of my white brother patriots out there feel the same way how I feel. You hear? You heard? They feel the same goddamn way how I feel. That this administration letting these bums, these fucking losers in our country to invade our privacy, y'all. They done invaded our privacy, y'all. We on the brink of fucking collapsing. If this administration keep funding this war for the next year and some change they in, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? America's gonna fall. The great America, the great liberty is gonna fall behind this administration. We need soldiers and we need warriors to guard our America. That's what we need. Fuck fighting over in fucking seas and these foreign countries. We got to handle business inside America. And if it takes for us to overthrow this administration, or if it takes for us to find these migrants, us, the American people, the soldiers of America, the warriors of America, to find these migrants one by one, and we execute them back over to the border. How about that? How about that? Who's with me? Who's with me? Let's find these goddamn migrants and run their ass back across the border. I'm not the only one that feel like that, ladies and gentlemen. My white patriots feel the same way. But with this administration, we're going to have to overthrow the government, overthrow the administration, and then run these goddamn migrants back across the border. ASAP. You heard? We do it to each other. We hate each other. Why we can't use that energy to defend our country with these migrants and immigrants that's taking everything from us? What about your kids? What about your kids' kids? They already got a debt. What, trillions of dollars in debt? Behind who? Who's doing all this spending? And for what? You lonely bastards? That's just what y'all are. Lonely, rich bastards. I know a lot of lonely, rich bastards. Lonely as a motherfucker, y'all. Got all this money. Got all this money, y'all. But they lonely as fuck. I'd rather be broke and happy than rich and lonely. You lonely bastards. You stingy bastards. You can't do nothing with that money. I know a lot of famous people that was rich that died broke. And when I say died broke, I don't mean actually broke. When you die, you can't take the money with you. So evidently, you're leaving the country, you're leaving your soul, you're leaving your body broke. With just ass and elbows, the same way you came in this country or this world. You leaving back out ass and elbows. You came in ass and elbows. You leaving back out ass and elbows. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my white patriots that's out there, under the sound of my voice, brothers, it's time to take this country back. Even if we got to overthrow this administration, we can't let nothing stop us, brothers and sisters. And I say sisters because we got some sisters out there that's warriors, more than some of you niggas. But see, I'm not biased. So I'm going to hook up with my patriot brothers that I know for sure that's willing to fight. Not just against each other, against the common enemy. which are those migrants that cross the border. Where your heart at? Where your heart at? Tough talk, ain't it? But it's real. It's real. I'm not laying down like I told y'all before. I'm not laying down, man. To these migrants that's taking everything from us right up underneath your face. And y'all sitting around here partying and bullshitting and cussing each other out on social media all day. But you're scared to really take that fight to these migrants. To push them back across the border. I'll be damned if my senior citizens gotta suffer behind some foolishness. Let me say that one more time. I'll be damned if my senior citizens in America have to suffer over y'all foolishness, under y'all reckless spending, under y'all letting these migrants cross this border. 10,000 a day, if not more. That's crossing the border. Y'all flew the Afghanistan refugees in. Landed them in Philadelphia. Haven't heard nothing from them yet. Because best to believe those migrants that was from Afghanistan was from Iran, from Kabul, from Afghanistan, from wherever stand that you want to call it. And when they get to letting loose, we already know what happened at 9/11. Or did 9/11 really happen? Or was that inside? I ain't gonna get into it, because y'all say, oh, he's a conspiracy theory and all this foolishness. Nah. I'm a person with a motherfucking, my own mind, right? I got eyes I can see. You understand what I'm saying? I've been born and raised in America all my life. That's all I know. I know we get caught up in our, back to Africa shit, but I don't even know what Africa looked like, ladies and gentlemen. I've never been in Africa. I've been in America all my life. That might be my native home, but I've never been to Africa. So I can't defend Africa, then I will defend America where I was born and raised at. You see, Africa okay, Africa all right, that's out the way. I'm talking about us, Africans that's in America. We got to start fighting. And I don't mean each other, like we're already doing. But then again, they use the news and the paper to betray evilness. And I already seen